This month in ABN AMRO World Hockey, the big guns boom in Belgium as 6 top men's sides battle it out for the BDO Champions Challenge. We explore the reasons for China's sudden impact on the hockey world. We're back in Baku where the women fight for supremacy in the Arta Holding Champions Challenge. And finally, Azerbaijan pull out all the stops to fulfill their Olympic dream. The beautiful Belgium city of Antwerp is our first stop. Legend has it that a giant lived on the banks of the River Scheldt, extracting a toll from all those who passed. Those who didn't comply had their hands cut off. Eventually, his reign was ended by a young hero named Bravo, who slayed the giant and cut off his hand and threw it in the river. The name Antwerpen is a derivation of the Dutch term meaning handwerpen or hand throwing. It was a bit more peaceful at the Brugata Hockey Club where the BDO Men's Champions Challenge took place, with 6 sides competing for a place in next year's Champions Trophy. The Pan American champions Argentina were the top-ranked team in the competition, although India, New Zealand and England were all expected to mount a stiff challenge. Japan and host Belgium completed the lineup. It was expected to be an exciting event, and nobody was disappointed. Day 1 saw a big clash between Argentina and fast-improving England, who finished 5th at last year's World Cup, and it was the Englishman who landed the first blow.
Shot comes in. Oh, what a finish. Did it take a touch? Indeed it did. The umpire not there calling for a video replay. He's happy with his decision.
But this goal only served to sting Argentina into action.
Now this time, crucially, number 13, Jorge Lombi, is on the pitch. Here he comes, takes it into the circle. Oh! And that's what all the fuss is about. That was a fantastic corner by Lombi. We flagged him up as being a danger. He's literally just got off the bench. I was beginning to wonder whether he might be nursing an injury. Argentina's fully hit. Oh, it's finished in the nets. And it's Lombi again, this time not Lombi the corner striker, but Lombi the goal poacher. There was a little touch right in front of him off an English defender, but it played the ball onto the stick of Lombi. Shoots, goes low, and the rebound falls for Argentina. And the simplest of opportunities converted. Fair made the first stop, but couldn't control the rebound.
So Argentina off to a winning start, and England still looking for their first points as they took on a new-look India on day 2.
Turkey winds up another of those big hits of his. Chance, oh, what a goal. Rocket shot. Absolute rocket. No chance there for brothers.
India-England games usually end up as tight affairs, and this one was no exception. Richard Mantell tying things up from a penalty corner. But it was India who showed their resilience, grabbing the winner in the second half for their first points.
And this time, Prabjot Turkey does score, and England, having got themselves back on level terms, go to sleep in defence, and Turkey forces the ball home, and it's goal number 3.
Day 3 saw a clash between New Zealand, who were in imposing form, having won both their opening games, and England, who'd lost both. The Kiwis went 1 up.
There's the shot, oh, it's gone in, it's gone low. And England are undone there, the first corner of the match.
England fought back in the second half, steady pressure paying off as Rob Moore muscled in a rebound to tie things up. But that was as good as it got for Jason Lee's side, who looked to come to Belgium a bit underprepared.
It's 3-1 it is. Cousins the goal scorer for New Zealand, beating James Fair.
Day 4 saw a crucial match between India and Argentina, a virtual semi-final. The price, a place in the final.
This is the third corner of the game for Argentina. Third time lucky for Lombi, and Argentina are ahead here. It seemed to come off the frame of the goal as well. Almada goes on a run. Dilip Turkey steps across, loses out. Almada, can he pick a shot here? Yes, he can, and he plants it into the back of De Souza's net, and Argentina have a 2-goal lead now. This could be India's last chance for survival here in this one. In it goes, not perhaps the most convincing, but good enough.
But Sandeep Singh's goal wasn't enough for an Indian side that failed to convert any of the 11 penalty corners in the game. All Argentina needed from their final game was a point to completely shut the door on India. Up against them, the unbeaten Black Sticks.
Out comes the ball. Short shot, and it's a good one. This time, Vivaldi is beaten. Now a chance at the other end for Argentina. Strike straight back, and they do it in spectacular fashion. New Zealand were completely asleep there and caught cold.
Young Lucas Villa turned up the heat with his second goal of the game to put Argentina into the lead in the dying minutes. And even though Hayden Shaw would tie things up at the end, Argentina were in the final.
Shaw takes it on, shoots. Oh, it's a beauty again. How does he do it? He throws his stick to the touchline, takes the applause. Great goal again from Hayden Shaw.
On the final day, Japan took on host Belgium in the basement battle. It was the home team that took the lead, continuing its impressive striking ability at penalty corners. But a fine drag flick of his own from Takahiko Yamabori pulled his side level, and the Japanese were back in business. Eventually, as Belgium pressed for the winner, a Japanese breakaway sealed victory for the men in red.
Here come Japan. Can they catch Belgium on the break here? Chance for a shot, a nice shot, and it's in the net! And Japan might well have stolen this one here.
India and England were both looking for a podium finish to end a disappointing tournament on a high note, and the Indians couldn't have had a better start.
Nice bit of stick work and a heavy challenge coming in there. It's in the back of the net. Goodness me, India took that so quickly. Turkey drills it forward. Shot comes in, and oh, it's a fourth goal.
Four goals up inside 22 minutes, India relaxed and England clawed their way back. By the end, they'd pulled back 3, but the boys in blue held on and took the bronze. The two most entertaining sides in the tournament were in the final, and New Zealand, the form team, dominated early on.
Shaw takes the shot on, it's a beauty. Top corner, Vivaldi is furious.
With Hayden Shaw continuing his devastating form, the Black Sticks looked to have more firepower in their arsenal than the Argentines. And when the drag flicker made it 2-0 with a low drive that beat Vivaldi all ends up, the match looked headed for a tame end. But that's when Jorge Lombi decided to gate-crash the party. 2 goals in the last 7 minutes by the 35-year-old pushed the game into extra time. And Lombi, playing his first international tournament after having been dropped for over a year, completed a fairy tale comeback, scoring a golden goal in the 3rd minute of extra time to complete his hat-trick and give Argentina a famous victory. The celebrations were long and hard. Argentina were proud of their achievement. So Belgium finish at the bottom, Japan take 5th, England a disappointing 4th, and India end up 3rd. New Zealand, so dominant throughout the event, had to settle for the silver, as Pan American champions Argentina took the gold and reclaimed their place in the Elite Champions Trophy. China stunned the world when they came from obscurity to grab silver in the 2006 Doha Asian Games. Much of the credit for the rapid improvement lies at the door of their coach, the vastly experienced Korean Kim Sang-ryo. Given the challenge of turning the Chinese men into a competitive outfit in time for the Beijing Olympics, he already has created a side capable of beating all comers.
Firstly, of course, physical fitness must be important in modern hockey. If without physical fitness, I cannot try to some special tactics. And then the Chinese player, of course, they also have good, skillful players, but they don't know how to use this skill in the matches.
Kim confesses he's obsessive about hockey, and his results bear that out. He took the Korean men to the silver medal in the Sydney Olympics before taking over the women's side. Then came the China job, which turned out to be as interesting as it was challenging.
In China, hockey history is very short. That's why in China there is no the real hockey coaches. Maybe some football coach or ice hockey coaches, they just coach the field hockey. But that is totally different ways. That's why they have abilities, but they didn't improve too much.
The coach also encountered another problem, that of a very small player base. But the Chinese Hockey Association came up with the idea of introducing six-a-side matches. And while the lack of match practice does remain a problem, Kim found his own way of dealing with it.
I always want to trying to remember them what is the basics from the beginning and what is the match situations. Because in China, we have only 2 tournaments in a year. They have no any practice game between them. That's why they have a good skills, but they couldn't use in the matches. Skills, tactics, everything. That's why normally my training point is always create the game situations.
Penalty corner conversion is one aspect of the game that Kim puts special emphasis on. And for a team that lacks the silken skills of Asian rivals like Pakistan and India, that's proved decisive on many occasions. During the Doha Asian Games, China's winning goal against both India and Pakistan came through penalty corners. But there's a word of caution for Kim and his boys. Success at the Asian Games has meant that the team is no longer an unknown quantity. The chinks in the armour were exposed during the Aslan Shah hockey tournament when the team finished 7th.
I think China can now be respected for the performances and how the spirit they play the game, and they go about their job very, very, very vigorously. High intensity, similar to Korea, high fitness levels. So now it's just up to them to make sure they continue improvement, and that's going to be the challenge for them.
After the break, a look back at the ATA Holding Women's Champions Challenge and Azerbaijan pursue their Olympic dream. World champions Germany stay on top of the men's FIH World Rankings, but they're just 33 points ahead of Olympic champions Australia. Spain, the European champions, are third. They're looking to defend their title in Manchester. Champions Trophy winners, the Netherlands, in 4th spot. Pakistan have been struggling of late. They stay 5th. Victory in the Champions Challenge moves Argentina up to 6th. Asian champions Korea down to 7th. India, who are third in boom, retain 8th. The Black Sticks go up 1 to 9th. And England drop 1 spot to round off the men's FIH World Rankings. World champions the Netherlands are well ahead of the rest in the women's FIH World Rankings. They're followed by Las Leonas, Argentina. The Hockeyroos, who finished second at the World Cup, remain in 3rd spot. Olympic champions Germany in 4th. Victory in Baku helps China up to 5th spot. Asian Games runners-up Japan stay 6th. Spain follow close behind, they're in 7th now. The young Koreans move up 2 places, up to number 8. England continue their movement up the rankings, they're up 4 to 9th. And the USA rounds off the top 10. Azerbaijan, the Fire Land, is our next destination. The sprawling city of Baku, situated on the Caspian Sea, hosted the Ata Holding Women's Champions Challenge. It promises to be the first of many top-level international competitions to come to this little-known nation that's become an economic power thanks to its vast reserves of oil. It's a nation steeped in history and culture, rich in natural beauty. The Grand Stadium is a magnificent venue for an event that hosts Azerbaijan, New Zealand, the USA, England, Korea and the Asian champions China. We're all playing off in for a place in the next Champions Trophy, which will be held in Mönchengladbach. While Korea, England and the USA were all serious contenders, world number 5 China were the hot favourites. Day 1 action saw Korea taking on the USA, and the Asian team was clearly the stronger side as the US wilted under a combination of Korean pressure and Baku's sun.
Korea looking sharp there, and that one's gone home for the second goal.
So the Koreans get off to a winning start. There were wins also for China and England as the favourites asserted themselves on day 1. England seemed the more organised outfit for most of their game against the US. Mel Clulow's superb penalty corner strike putting them in sight of victory. But with 3 minutes on the clock to go, the Americans grabbed a late equaliser.
They look for a hard shot inside the circle, and they look for an opportunity, and the United States have got the equaliser. Well, that's exactly what they were looking at.
On day 4, Korea, with 9 points from the first 3 games, took on China, who'd been far from their best so far in the tournament.
They're looking a little different, and a goal. Marvellously engineered.
It was a solid performance by the Chinese, much to the relief of coach Kim Chang-bak. England now had to beat China in order to keep their hopes of a final spot alive. But the Asian team was in no mood to let that happen.
And Ma Yibo, they look for the variation, and that is a shot which is going in. Regulation stuff, really, with the Ma Yibo pushing it away onto the right. No mistakes being made. Ma Yibo comes out, and it is the 4th goal for China.
It was a comprehensive win for the Chinese, who were coming into ominous form at the business end of the tournament. The final saw the 2 Asian sides, China and Korea, clashing for the crown. Having easily won their pool game, China held the psychological edge.
Here it comes. Ma Yibo is ready and has scored. A low one with that drag, full of power from the Chinese captain.
But the Koreans refused to wilt. Sul Ki-cheon restoring parity with an unstoppable drag flick.
Chen Chiu-chi Fong Qingling. China have a chance here. The ball's home. It's a goal. China have struck. And there is jubilation in the dugout as well as on the pitch.
So 2-1 the final verdict as China sealed the Champions Challenge. Hosts Azerbaijan ended up with a wooden spoon despite a spirited display, while New Zealand were lucky to finish 5th. The US took 4th, England were 3rd, Korea took the silver, but China it was who laid their hands on the ATA Holding Champions Challenge. Ranked only 15th in the world, Azerbaijan is somewhat of an unknown quantity on the hockey pitch. But the ATA Holding Champions Challenge showed that this side has the potential to surprise the best in the world. While they finished last, the spirited Azeri girls were never outplayed in the tournament, matching powerhouses like Korea, China and England. The improvement, though, hasn't come overnight. It's due largely to the efforts of coach Tahir Zaman, a former Pakistan star who's been involved with the team for the past 9 months.
They assigned me as a technical director, high performance and development. But when I started my job here, I saw these people, they are having a lot of passion for hockey. They love hockey very much. And their main team is ladies team. So when I started working here with the men's team in the beginning, 2-3 months, they saw some improvement in the men's team within a very short time. And the top management of Azerbaijan Hockey Federation, they asked me to take over the ladies team as well. They said, okay, development is also our plan, but we are shifting our target towards ladies team because we are very keen to be able to play in Olympics Games.
It's not been an easy ride for Tahir because the Azeris are probably the oldest international team in the world. Their captain is nearly 40 and most of the top players are not much younger.
Usually our average players are around 33, 34, 35. So they are still playing because the development structure is not really very organized. The aim to be here, I'm talking about myself or talking about FIH. So enlarging the players pool on grassroots level. So having more quantity, ultimately we can find out the quality. So that plan has been started already, but it will take, I think, 4 or 5 years.
The lack of a proper structure is something the Azerbaijan Hockey Federation is working hard to correct. But there are huge differences in the skill levels of the players, and the older ones remain indispensable, as long as the adequate replacements don't come through. This has meant that Tahir's role is wider than just being coach of the team.
Talking about my previous career, coaching career, I have been working on high performance, top level high performance. And since I have started my work here in Azerbaijan, I think it was a challenge for me to mix up the things, development and high performance together. And I was trying to find out the balance where I can keep the both things. Because few of the players, they were having good skills, but most of them, they were also not very good in skill level.
Having coached Pakistan, it's been a bit of a struggle for Tahir to coach a side that's not quite so skillful, and there are other frustrations as well.
The frustration timing usually were when I was not really able to convey the depth of my message to them during the training session, because still I will openly accept this. The communication with the players is a major problem for me because they are not able to speak English and I'm not really able to speak Russian or Azeri language. Still I'm using the interpreter, and you know, if it is going through from somebody else, and there is so many questions from the player sides. So those were the time when I became furious. If interpretation is not right or players are not understanding, but time to time we are trying to manage these things, and it is becoming more handy for us.
All in all, though, the team has shown enough to suggest it won't be a pushover in the European Nations Cup that comes round in August, and those connected to Azerbaijan hockey are keeping their fingers crossed.
Every sportsman dreams about Olympic Games. So Our dream, our team's dream is the Olympic game, of course. So I hope we will take part in that game, inshallah. And this is our goal and this is our aim.
That's all we have time for on ABN AMRO World Hockey. Next month we take a look at Canadian hockey. Until then, goodbye.